of Yester, year 1. The Hebrew date, Zayin Shvat, the 7th of Shvat, marks the Hilula of really great Moroccan rabbi. His name was Rabbi Levi Saadyah Nachmani, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, one of the great rabbis of his time. He was born in English year 1921 and he passed away on the 8th of January in English year 1995. He lived close to about 74 years of age. He would become not just a great rabbi, he would become a great darshan, and would be one of the great Rosh Yeshiva and Kabbalists of his time period in of itself. He would later on settle in Eretz Israel and very much become a great rabbi over there in of itself, learning and teaching the deepest, let's just say, Torah insights in of itself. Now, he was born, I believe, in the Hebrew year Hey Tafresh Pei Aleph, and his father was a famous Kabbalist rabbi, Yaakov Nachmani. He happened to be author also of many great different books, and he was from Marrakesh, respectively. Remember, Marrakesh in Morocco had a great community, and his mother's name was Rabbanit Rina. So they were from Marrakesh, and it's actually interesting. He would be named after, I believe, Rav Elazar Halevi, who happened to be a great rabbi over there, Rosh Yeshiva in himself of Marrakesh, and was, I believe, known for his book on the Shas, the Talmud Bavli, the Avodat Halevi, which we've spoken about on various occasions before. And very, very much so, he was, let's just say, I think his father's rabbi was Rabbi Saadyah Rabach. So he was also named after Rav Elazar Halevi, the Levi part of his name, I believe. And the Saadyah part of the name was after Rabbi Saadyah Rabach. Very interesting enough. So Rabbi Levi would actually study with his father as a child while he was young and began to write, let's say, novels on the Shas in of itself, of the Talmud in of itself. I believe he would actually learn while he was young with the famous Rabbi Yaakov Hazut and with the famous Rosh Yeshiva of Marrakesh, Rabbi Abraham Abitbol. Rabbi Abraham Abitbol, I believe we've mentioned that before. He was famous Rosh Yeshiva and Rabbi in Marrakesh, respectively, and in other communities of Morocco. Later on, he would study in the area of Casablanca with a group of various different rabbis led by, I think, Rabbi Shalom Meshash. They would learn various different parts of the Torah in of itself. They will dwell into the Torah, the Bet Yosef, the Shulchan Aruch, the code of Jewish law, and have like an encompassing Seder in of itself. He would become ordained to the rabbinate. Rav Shalom Meshash would actually ordain him. Remember, we dedicated the video within regards to Hacham Shalom Meshash. Rabbi Levi would go on to teach in the Talmud Torah called Otsar HaTorah School, I believe. And he would later on be appointed, let's just say, as a rabbi in the Neve Shalom Yeshiva. He would teach Torah and Talmud over there at the Bet Midrash and train, let's just say, teachers in himself, rabbis in himself in Casablanca. He was also a Sofer Stam and was also working in the Bet Din of Marrakesh in of itself. Now, I think somewhat the English year, it was around, I think, 1964, he would actually move to Eretz Israel. He would come there at this point in time. And I think naturally was only a couple of years before the time period, the outbreak of the Six-Day War in 1967 in of itself. He would settle in Petach Tikva. Remember, Petach Tikva had a very strong, or still has, a very, very strong, great Torah community in of itself. And will work within regards to Torah encompassment and doing many, many different Torah-related jobs, I believe, during that time period. And he was offered various rabbinical positions there in of itself. And I think that another great rabbi in that vicinity himself was Rav Moshe Malka, a good friend of his. Rav Moshe Malka would, just to speak about him, was, I believe, the Sephardic chief rabbi of Petach Tikva and a member of the chief rabbinic council in of itself. Later on, after being in Petach Tikva for a period of time, he would move to Yerushalayim and was one of the founders of the famous yeshiva in, I think, the Beit Vegan neighborhood called the Ohel Moed Yeshiva. He was, I think there was a synagogue called the Beit Shmuel Synagogue in the Shmuel Hanavi neighborhood, and Darchei Noam, it's an institution also for Torah teaching for adults and youth. He would give classes on Torah and Judaism all over the different places in himself, organizing classes for the youth in the afternoons. He would give classes on Kabbalah. I think in dwelling in the book, let's just say, of the Etz Chaim, famous Sefer of Rabbi Chaim Vital, and he was also a scribe, as we stated before, or a Sofer Stam, who would earn a living also within regards to that. He would serve as the head of the Kabbalistic yeshiva, Pneiach Yaakov, I believe, in Jerusalem. It was a famous yeshiva. I think we've actually mentioned it on various occasions before inside this series, Menecha Yaakov in Jerusalem. And among his Talmidim was famous Rabbanim, including Rabbi Shabtai Sabato, what we think become the Dati Lomi Rabbi and the head of the Mostot Netivot Yosef in Mitzvah Yericho. Another one of his students was Rab Abram Vazana, another great one, and Rab Dr. Eliyahu Zini, another great rabbi, I think who was a great posek, and another one of the great Dati Lomi rabbis of the Rosh Yeshiva of Or Yeshua in Haifa, if I'm not mistaken. Rabbi Yehud Ashkenazi will be another great one, a great educator who will go on later on to become, I think he would work in France respectively. Rab Daniel Stavatsky, another great rabbi, so really, and Rabbi Chaim Ziegler. So he had a lot of great students in of itself, and many people would be, like, say, fascinated with regards to greatness. And he was widely known also for the work he would do on the current affairs in of itself, what is actually going on, what's a vision for the end of times. He was giving good Musar classes in himself. His Torah teachings are printed in various different, let's say, Torah collections in himself. He passed away on the 7th of Shvat in English year 1995, and he was buried in Har HaMenuchot, the Mount of Rest cemetery in Jerusalem. Now, it's actually interesting. Let's explore some of the great Sfarim he left, including the Brit HaLevi, which is a Perush on the Sefer of Kohelet, on, interesting, Megillah, the Vanta Hashira Azo, which was dealing with the matters, let's say, of actuality, let's just say, of the Geula in of itself, redemption. Kitzad Nik Alin, this was another one, Havana, the understanding within regards to the Geula, and the Or Halevi, which was, I think, brought out to the Pnimiot HaTorah in of itself. I think that was printed in Beersheba in the year Tafshin Samach Zayin, and that was, I think, actually printed or written also through his Talmid, Rabbi Avram Vazana. Which is interesting. Now, his wife, he would get married. His wife was Rabbanit Phoebe, I believe, and it's reported over they would have 13 children, and including among them was Rabbi Harab Shar Shalom, who happened to be the Rav of the congregation of Tel Sion, a neighborhood in Israel, ultra-Orthodox neighborhood, place hopefully we'll visit at one stage in the near future. So one of the great rabbis, he passed away, Zayin Shvat, is Silhouette of the Shvat. Please don't forget to light candles in his memory. One of the great rabbis from Marrakesh of his time. He was a rabbi that would teach so many different Torah topics, from the Tanakh, Musar, within regards to Geula, Talmud, Kabbalah. Among his rabbis included Rabbi Yaakov Nachmani, Rabbi Yaakov Chazut, Rabbi Avram Abitbol. Among his Talmidim included Rabbi Shabtai Sabato, Rabbi Shlomo Toledano, Rav Mekubal, Ori Hanania El Nakaveh, many other great rabbis. Interesting enough, he was at the time period of his generation, which included Rabbi Yitzchak Chazan and Rabbi Shalom Mashash. These were really great rabbis of the highest caliber. And please don't forget to light candles in his memory. Wishing you all blessings from Israel, and take care. Be well, everyone.